I definitely wanted to just open my mind and learn a lot more about the issues that I'd only covered on the surface, like feminism, race, everything like that. I'd only surface level been in contact with. So I think coming to college, I dove in.
I chose CMC for a variety of reasons. Number one of which, it was a really good academic school, and that was highly prioritized. And I also came here because of their really good tennis program. So those two considerations, along with the fact that just the school seemed like a good fit for me, and I liked the kids and the culture, and I was looking for liberal arts with more of a practical approach.
In college, I was really hoping I would find something that I was really interested in, figuring out what I'm passionate about, whether that was academically or not. And I think that Scripps will provide that for me. It already has.
I think there's a level of ignorance that comes with just knowing the people, know what's familiar to you, and I didn't want that. I wanted to be able to talk to multiple cultures, understand different things, and have a sense of diversity, ideology-wise, and just use that to my advantage.
I chose Scripps because I thought everyone was going to be very smart and engaged and passionate.
I didn't know a whole lot about it other than it was a liberal arts college. It was on the West Coast. The weather was great. But once I got to stay here for a couple days, I got to meet the people, and I was really intrigued by them, and I felt like I had a really good relationship with the people that I met, even just in 1 or 2 days.
I chose to attend college because I didn't think there was anything else to do. I think in this economy, it is crucial that people attend college if they want to get a decent job.
I think that education is a huge privilege, and getting it is something that a lot of people take for granted. I know I took it for granted, and since coming here, it's made me really think about what I want to get out of college and who I want to be when I leave, and I think those are things that I wouldn't have gotten if I was in a pre-professional college.
I think a liberal arts education to me means that I don't want to say forced, but I'm almost forced to just explore everything and have something in every field.
A liberal arts education is a kind of education where you get a little bit of everything, a little bit of art, math, science, and even though I hate math and science, I'm glad I'm doing it because it just ensures that you're a well-rounded student.
It's interdisciplinary. It's a holistic approach to understanding the world and how you perceive it. I think that there should be a bigger focus on deconstructing your own values and the society that you come from. And I think that a liberal arts education, if you're getting the most out of it, should give you the tools to do that.
I think what's most important about a liberal arts education is that you learn everything. Yes, I love econ, I love finance, but there's something valuable in challenging yourself and learning things that you're not as comfortable with. And there's been times here where I'm you know what, I love history, and I would have never realized that if I would have went to a state school where I would have joined the business school and only took business courses all 4 years.
I guess it kind of encouraged you to dabble in a lot of different things before settling down, and that was something that I was drawn to. I guess Scripps encourages you to do a lot of different things before deciding your major with the general education requirements. So I think that taking those have kind of helped me figure out what I like and what I don't like a little bit more.
It was really important. I feel as an international student, I think if I wanted to do a professional degree like law or medicine, I would have probably stayed in India because that's what India is good for.
So really wanted to go abroad, which is why I came to a small liberal arts school in the first place, was to be able to have that option. So I think just make myself more worldly and educated as a whole.
So many classes that I've had to take that I would never have taken if I didn't have to, and I've enjoyed all of them, and I've learned so much from them, and it's shaped me a lot as a person, more so than the classes that I'm interested in, maybe.
Part of the whole liberal arts thing was forcing myself to be around people who might not agree with me, and not necessarily to change my mind. Even if I learned stuff that reinforced what I believe. I mean, yes, obviously making me change my mind, but learning how to live with different opinions rather than feel I need to change the opinion or someone needs to change mine, but you believe what you believe and I believe what I believe, and that's cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely receiving a liberal arts education. we're learning about things that I don't think I would learn about elsewhere, especially at a big state school, like race, gender, like those things you need to learn there, like mandatory courses. They are really, Scripps values those things. So I think that is representative of a liberal arts education versus like big like university or something like that.
I think CMC itself doesn't do a very good job of providing a liberal arts education. But again, like the consortium, when you throw everyone else in, it kind of makes it up to the student though, which kind of makes me sad because I see like a lot of people that don't take advantage of the whole like 5C thing. But like, I don't know, it's kind of a little more up to you to get the education.
I think I'm getting a very good liberal arts education. I would say I think core exemplifies what a liberal arts education is.
I don't know what it actually is, but I always do feel like I'm missing something that a lot of people who go to liberal arts colleges get. Mostly what I hear on campus and people talking about their studies are things that don't seem to be liberal artsy at all to me. I don't hear about English, I don't hear about philosophy, I don't hear about really anything other than economics and accounting, that type of thing. And that, to me, that doesn't feel like a liberal arts education, something that we see at some of the other 5Cs.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting a liberal arts education here because of all the diverse classes that I've been taking.
I think the core curriculum has definitely helped me get a liberal arts education, but I do think in some ways, because of like the shift in my interests from like wanting to go to law school to maybe now wanting to pursue an MBA later, I don't know if I'm like truly getting a liberal arts experience because I'm taking quantitative courses like econ.
But I think that CMC offers something better, which is by having an accounting department and a finance department, they give more of a practical, pragmatic approach to liberal arts.
And in terms of CMC, I feel like, yes, I do get that liberal arts education to a certain extent. I feel like I call us a vocational school for politicians and business owners. I feel like everyone that comes here kind of knows what they want, and it almost seems sometimes they feel like liberal arts education is getting in the way of what they really want. Ironically, because it's a liberal arts school, but I think that's one of the cases.
I think what I value the most here is just the people. I knew that's why I decided to come here in the first place, was because I love the people here.
I really value the smaller communities that form within Scripps.
I value that it's made me aware of so many issues that I just wasn't aware of before coming here to Scripps. And I feel like if I went to a bigger university, I wouldn't have been exposed to so many issues and I wouldn't have been sensitized to them.
At a liberal arts school especially, like, these kids are so intelligent and they have so many different values and like different perspectives, and no one thinks the same thing. But I've learned that like a lot of my life I could argue my way out of a conversation and like be the stronger point and feel like I got away with it. But here, like, I get challenged all the time. Like, you think that, but why do you think that? And like challenge me with something just as powerful that I just told them, if not like my personality is molded into a new person where I can understand different perspectives and take the best part from all the different perspectives and make them my own. I think that's the best part of my education here thus far.
The thing I value most about my college education is the relationships that I build, whether it's with my teachers or with my friends or my teammates or coaches.
Oh, I think all of my professors have been very, very invested in my learning, and coming from a large public high school, that was something that I am always impressed by.
It wasn't until I visited that I realized that it had all the pieces that I really wanted, and the things that I valued the most were diversity, like small classroom sizes, and the opportunity to actually go out and do things with the knowledge that you were going to be gaining from going to college.
I love the small, close-knit aspect of Scripps, but I know that if I wasn't in the consortium, I wouldn't have access to as many resources which could further my education or opportunities later on.
And I love the fact that there's always something happening. Like, there's always a talk to go to, there's always a workshop, there's always a conference. Like, there's always so much that you can do here. And it feels like you have a home base, but then there's like a little part of you at every campus and you get to explore that.
I definitely have noticed the lack of diversity here compared to my high school.
There's like this stereotype, which is pretty true. I mean, like the white, like athletic banker, accounting, econ, finance type dude.
With all the people who are making these perspectives and all these great conferences I've had, I think there's still a level of ignorance here. I think that you're gonna get a handful of kids who want to argue their perspective and like learn and see what's out there and what other people are thinking. But I think at the same time you can get an individual who came from a certain background, who parents are relatively wealthy, who they went to a school very similar to CMC, who had a great education their entire life and don't understand that it's not like that everywhere else. So that was one of the main things too. Like me and people who were totally open to talking with me about different things and learning, and people who were talking to me not to learn or not to gain perspective, but simply to state their own thoughts. And I think that was one of the things that could be improved.
It's obvious that Scripps is not like a safe space for many students, and I think that like really addressing that instead of trying to sugarcoat it or pretend like most of us aren't oppressive in a lot of ways or don't have a lot to learn and improve on could be like extremely helpful for the school in making sure that everyone feels safe here.
I think that there shouldn't be classes that where the average grade is a C, especially at such a smart school, or any of the 5 Cs shouldn't have that because they're all such good schools.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure to do like finance and to do econ because those are really pragmatic things and we want to be a pragmatic school. And I think that sometimes we get really ahead of ourselves by telling ourselves that like, we're leaders in the making, but how can you really be a leader when you don't understand like how the world came to be and how people live or why they think the way they do, and if you can't construct like a logical and sound argument. And so personally, I think that there are a lot of initiatives that the school has done that's detracted from us being a liberal arts education, from having a liberal arts education, and that makes me really frustrated because I think it's becoming harder and harder for me to find the classes that I want to take on this campus.
It feels like there's a really big disconnect between what you learn in the classroom and how the administration actually functions and how institutions of higher learning actually function.
What can be improved at CMC is a bigger focus on things outside of what CMC is known for, which is mostly economics and some international relations. It'd be interesting, I think, to see more classes that are outside of that realm.
I think opportunities-wise, just at CMC, definitely, like if there was no other 4 colleges, I would feel choked. But you just kind of have to force yourself to like look for opportunities at other schools.
Like I love being at CMC, and I think the reason that I am so critical of it is because I love it so much and I want it to be better when I leave it. And I think it's already getting there.
I'm not really quite sure if my education is all it was promised to be. I don't know if it was really if I was ever promised anything coming here. I came pretty unsure what would happen with college. I expected my life to be changed, I guess, but that wasn't really promised for me.
Well, I'm not even halfway through, so I can't answer that yet, but I think I'm definitely on track for it to be all that I hope for it to be. I'm studying all the stuff I want to study, plus stuff that will be really useful.
Yes, definitely. Like, I didn't really know what to expect when I came. Like, people had told me stuff about college, but you have to experience it for yourself to know what it's going to be like. And it exceeded all my expectations and more.
Yeah, oddly enough, I feel like CMC is everything I went out of college and more. I feel like there were so many things that like I thought college was going to be, and it is CMC, but I wouldn't have got that if I went anywhere else.
It's funny because now that I'm here, I sometimes wonder like if I knew what I was getting into. And I'm really happy here. Like I'm really grateful to be here and I've never regretted it, but it's just really different from what I thought it would be like.
I feel like no education could actually be what you're promised it to be because the school sells itself as a incredibly safe, open, diverse school. I'm pretty sure in a lot of the literature about the school it says that it prioritizes social justice. Like, that's not very true. I think that Scripps does a lot to make sure that, or to try to make sure that students feel safe and accepted here, but at the end of the day, this school replicates systems of power and exclusion in very obvious ways.
For me personally, I think the community was something that really was like really shocking for me. I've never felt like so supported, and that was something that I wasn't expecting. I thought that college was going to be really hard, really challenging, and I thought it was going to be really hyper competitive, and I realize that when people are here, it's much more like you're trying to do your best for yourself as opposed to competing with the person next to you. And I think that's a really positive thing that we shouldn't lose.
I'm one of those guys who came to CMC not knowing how great of a school it was until I got here, and I just think that all around it's just a great place to be.